Hey guys. Okay, so over the past couple of days, I did two more interviews with two wonderful ladies that have been really successful in the industry. But I realized that I didn't actually really do sort of an introduction for them before the interview. So just bear with me as I get better at this. I guess it's still like a nervous thing to be in front of the camera, but I'll get better. Okay, so the way that I met Lynne Edwards and Kim Riddy was a couple of years ago. I was called up by Andrew from the Crew Academy. He hired me, flew me over to this private island just off of Antigua, where the girls were set up to teach everybody that works on the island and all these private villas to be butlers. So it was a bespoke butler course. And that in itself was quite an amazing experience. But what I realized during that time is there's a lot of stuff that I know that I take for granted, that maybe something simple that I once looked up on YouTube briefly so I could teach myself how to do it, and also learning from other people over the years, that there's a lot of stuff that I know that a lot of people don't know and would like to know. So that's how I got the ball rolling. And if there's two better people to learn from also, it's Kim and Lynne, as they are both now currently trainers. So let's go check out the interviews, and I hope you guys learned something. Lynne, please, welcome to the interview. Please, can you tell us a little bit more, or a little bit about yourself and what you're up to?
Yes, well, about me, I've been in the yachting industry for probably since before many of the people watching this video were even born. It's true. I started yachting in 1982. I'm an absolute dinosaur. So I was one of those very first people that came into the industry knowing nothing about it at all. I happened to have a degree in hotel management, but not because I wanted to work in yachting, because I had no idea that it even existed. I'd been working in hotels in Guernsey, where I grew up, and then in Australia for 2 years. And my mother got remarried, so I came back home to Guernsey. And my twin sister was then working on yachts and had been for a couple of years down here in Antibes. And I came down for a holiday before I went back to Australia. But whilst I was here, I was offered a job. And that started a 10-year journey of working on yachts. And I've been in and out of working on yachts and then training since then. So it's been a very long journey, and I have obviously, Chandra, seen enormous changes in the industry since then.
Yeah, can you give us an example?
Yes, well, when I first started working on yachts, if there was a 40-meter yacht, that was about as big as you would ever see them. I think Kingdom was around then, or Khashoggi as it was called then. So I don't know how long she is, but she's larger than that. But now, of course, I think that the largest yacht I trained on recently was 124 meters or something like that. It was absolutely incredible. So this just wasn't heard of when I started working on yachts. It was literally a case of, if people came down into the industry, they would walk on the docks and they would almost invariably get a job, whether they had experience or not, because this was pre-STCW, pre any sort of training qualifications you had to have in the interior. Engineers, I'm sure, would have had to have qualifications. There were many captains at that time who didn't have did not have the qualifications that captains have to have today. Yeah. So in terms of being legislated and qualified as an industry, if you like, that just didn't really exist back in the early 80s. So one of the biggest changes is, A, the boats have become very much larger, and B, the prerequisites in terms of qualifications of working on board are much stricter, and rightly so, obviously.
Yeah. So just quickly, what courses would you recommend for somebody joining the industry now for the interior? I know that there's some that are absolutely required besides for your STCW, like food safety and hygiene. Are there any other ones that you would recommend for people that have the time and the money to be able to do those courses before they start?
Yeah, absolutely. And just as a little proviso to what you've just said, for food hygiene, probably many people might know this, but you are no longer allowed to do a food hygiene course online. So if you've got a food hygiene qualification that you did online, it's not valid. You'll have to retake it again in a training or classroom situation. So the courses that I would really highly recommend are the guest training courses, interior training courses. I'm part of that steering committee. So GUEST stands for Guidelines for Unified Excellence in Service Training. We first set this up about 8 years ago. There are a group of trainers literally from around the world, so in New Zealand and Australia and America, Europe, who put their heads together, decided what modules should be created on what subjects, and then put the subject matter together. Or rather, they chose what should be taught, and then individual trainers put the meat on the bones, if you like. So that's a course that has been available to the industry for about 5 or 6 years, for 6 years now. It was originally under the umbrella of the PYA, the Professional Yachting Association, but in January of this year, it went under the jurisdiction of IARMI. So IARMI are now responsible for the certification of those training courses. So it's if you want to look at it online, it's www.guestprogram with 1 M. So it's the American spelling, not 2 M's and an E. So PROGRAM, guestprogram.com. So have a look at it online. It will tell you all you need to know about what is available, and what your prerequisites are, and what your training qualifications will be at the end of it. And it's all fully certified, and it's recognized by, obviously, by IARMI, but also the MCA are very aware of it. It's a very highly regarded course, training course.
Okay. And then we were talking earlier about the new course that you guys have been working on. Would you like to just explain to us a little bit more about that?
Yes, so the guest program is really a career path through the industry, from newbies who've never worked in the industry before, right up to management level, and then pre-PURSA level, and obviously there are other PURSA training courses. I've been doing that kind of technical training, housekeeping service, all that sort of stuff, since 2003. I've now moved into the more of the soft skills, because I believe there is a huge need for us as trainers to look after the well-being of crew.
Yeah,
we are now dealing with an industry, as I said, it's very much changed. The expectations of young crew, and by young I mean anyone from 18 to 30 odd. When you're 63, everybody seems to be young, but anyway, but younger people who are not very often not properly equipped to deal with the pressures on board. People come into the industry with this rose-tinted view of seeing the world, earning lots of money, and maybe they know it's going to be hard work. It is hard work. It can be easy at times. Sometimes it's back-to-back hard work. That every boat is different. But there are enormous pressures in all sorts of areas, whether it's a pressure of work, whether it's a pressure of the way that you look, because it's a very image-driven industry, so you're constantly worried about your weight and your styling and all of this sort of stuff. Whether it's, well, there are so many pressures. There are a lot of social pressures. People sometimes find it difficult to live with other people in confined spaces. This is a problem many people will be facing right now, because you're kind of locked down with others. It's one thing, I'm locked down here in my home, but it's one thing being in your home where you can walk out and at least go out around the garden or something, and you are in your own environment. It's very different when you're locked down on a boat. So we're very aware of this in the company that I work for, Luxury Hospitality. But anyway, so we have then now created courses that we call insight courses, which deal with all of those soft skills. So we do personality testing so that we can get a very clear idea of where your strengths lie. And then we understand how you function, how you feel. We bring you an understanding of how not only you function, but how other people may function, which of course brings awareness around all of that. And once you have that awareness of how different people function, why they're behaving like this, why they say things in this way, why they react in that way, then you come to this lovely place of acceptance, and with that comes trust, and with that comes building of more cohesive teams. So we work on that. We work on crew well-being. A part of the Insight course is all about how to deal with any sort of bullying, sexual harassment, any other kind of social issues you might get on board. We do a short section of the course which is called QPR. We've done specialized training in QPR, which is question, persuade, refer, which is all about suicide prevention. So noticing the signs, the language people might use, the behavior that they might start to adopt in order to be able to be a gatekeeper if necessary, at least to pick up on the signs. It's not counselling, it's just giving you the tools to be able to deal with it. And we know that this is happening in our industry.
Yeah, that's very useful. That's a very interesting course. Very cool. Lynne, so okay, I have one more question left. What advice could you give somebody who's about to join the industry? Maybe something that you wish that you knew when you joined? Any bit of advice that you could give that would be helpful?
Right. Well, I would say my strongest advice to everybody is get informed about the industry. Don't look at it too much with rose-coloured glasses. Go in with your hearts and your minds wide open and your eyes wide open. Do the research. There will be boats out there that will suit you, your personality, how you like to work and that sort of thing. So do some good research. Do some good training courses, get yourself properly equipped. There's no reason to struggle when there are excellent training courses available that can fast track you through learning about service, for example, and housekeeping and laundry. And, you know, I've worked on yachts where the smallest errors have created hundreds and thousands of pounds worth of damage. You know, a young girl who wasn't trained properly by the chief stewardess used the wrong cleaning polish on a beautiful filigree silver stairway, and the whole lot had to be redone. And I think it was something like £25,000 to get it redone. Or, you know, not knowing proper laundry instructions, chuck it all in, it'll all be fine. But, you know, when you're dealing with haute couture clothes, you need to know what you're doing. So get yourselves properly informed. Take the training courses that are out there, the guest course for anyone that's working on the interior. Of course, the ENG and the STCW and those sort of things are mandatory, and as are food hygiene courses. So I would say very much get yourself trained up and go in there and have the intention to enjoy it. Learn how to manage you as a person so that whatever situation you're put into, you will be able to handle it. So yeah, that's my advice. If anyone, can I talk about my new courses, Chandra?
Yeah, please do. Please go ahead.
I was going to say, so in these times when many of you who might be watching this might be in lockdown, we've created some fabulous online courses. They're going to be fun and educational. They're going to go out in April. So we're very excited to be offering those to the yachting community who are in lockdown. It's all about getting to know yourself, getting to know others. It's about psychological security. It's about emotional intelligence. It's about management and leadership. So use this time wisely that you've got. You've got time on your hands now. You might as well enjoy it. It'll be 2 sessions every week for 2 hours a week. So it'll be a great chance for you to communicate with others as well and make contact with other stewardesses or chief stewardesses, whoever you might be that join the course, and just brainstorm and interact and learn some really good stuff. So you come out at the end of this lockdown and you'll be raring to go again. So
awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be all about how we process it. It's going to be, you know, if you feel it's going to be a terrible time for you, it probably will be. But if you say, right, I'm going to use this time productively and get the best out of it that I can, that's exactly what's going to happen too.
Yeah, true story. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, Lynne. I really appreciate it.
Oh, I love talking to you again, Chandra.